to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Total protonic reversal.
Protonic reversal.
Protonic reversal with your host, Conan Neutron. Broadcasting from a secret underground lair in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
A gigantic middle finger to everything that is rotten about music, rock and roll, and corporate power.
The thing is, though, if you don't laugh, you're going to go on a killing spree with sharpened nails.
Confidence of a hero or a fool. I wasn't exactly certain which.
Could not be more professional.
It's only one I choose to devote my life to. That's okay.
It means something. It means something.
And they got away.
You know, that's my take. What's yours?
Protonic reversal.
That's like a science thing, right?
Indeed it is. It is a science thing. It is a science place. It is a scientific fact that we're all up in your face. It is time once again for the one, the only Protonic Reversal. Welcome to it. We're hitting this with episode 454, a palindrome yet. Wow. Who could have predicted such a thing? Very excited to talk to my next guest, who's quite a bit of a returning guest. Quite a bit, meaning quite a bit of times he's been on. But before I do any of that, truly, welcome to Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. I am your host, Conan Neutron. I am a rock and roll lifer who's been touring and recording for 26 years, most known for the band Conan Neutron, The Secret Friends. Music is a huge part of my life, and I use the format of this very long-running podcast to talk about music with musicians whose work I enjoy and respect, but who may not be household names. This is episode 454. Now, if this is your first time listening to the show, archives of it are available for free. No ads, no sponsors, no kidding. ProtonicReversal.com. However, if you want to support the show and get episodes sooner, $1 a month at patreon.com/ProtonicReversal will achieve that goal. If you like the show or even just a single episode, please feel free to like, subscribe on your platform of choice, share it around on the internet, even leave a review. All of that helps people discover the show. It beats back the almighty algorithmic overlords. It's just a darn nice thing to do. Okay, so Conan Neutron, The Secret Friends Tour, imminent. Going out a few shows with Mike Watt and then a month with Red Cross. NeutronFriends.bandcamp.com for that. Bands in town, song kick. Log into mp3.com and Friendster. Whatever you need to do to find it. We're going to be out on the road. Hope to see you out there. I'm bringing some Protonic stickers. Enough said about that. Let's talk about McCluskey and Christian fitness and Future of the Left and so much more. Your friend and mine, Falco, welcome back.
Hey.
It's good to have you. I'm glad we were able to fit this in, man. You're about to go out yourself.
It's been a time, hasn't it? It's a crazy world, and I think we all probably suffer from centering ourselves and then feeling overwhelmed by the totality of existence. I know I do.
It's certainly every day is a new challenge, as they say, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's better than the alternative. I mean, I'm pretty busy trying to focus on things to make things work, but the alternative to that is not having anything to do because nobody gives a fuck. So I'm happy to take the busy. It's good. I'm positive. It just, you always get me quite late at night, so you get a slightly low-powered bullshitty me. But if you get me in the middle of the afternoon, just before the mid-afternoon slump, I can actually be quite an energetic.
Yeah, it's popping off in a very different way. Sure, of course.
Yes,
yeah.
of course.
Not counting when you were good enough to do that short segment for the 10-year anniversary of the show. It's actually been a couple of years since you've been on a proper one. I've of course had Damien on, which was great. That was a lovely episode.
Damien Sale.
Yeah,
bullshitter in chief.
But for folks that, I don't know, live under a rock or some other kind of sediment, there's been a lot of McCluskey stuff, not the least of which is, how long of a break was it between records? Because the new record, well, it's not that new. There's an EP that's even newer than that, but long time.
I wouldn't say it was a break, really. It wasn't a band. A break implies you know what, guys, let's just, we're going away for the summer season. We'll leave the pool uncovered. I'm sure it'll be fine. It won't, it's going to have more than a few leaves in it by the time you return. Yeah, it was a long time, and now it's been a nice time. I mean, it would be typical of us to release a new record at the time of a global economic and emotional recession. But
let's not forget the new wars too. We've got some new wars, exciting new ones. Yep.
I mean, we're not even into the wars, is it? It's like if you put your hand any more into the oven, it will at one point just be burnt off. But it's just really good fun. Like there's always a lot of, I think, things that fuel a creative endeavor from everybody involved. When you're younger, you may be motivated by slightly different things, or maybe you've got a slightly different focus. But I think when you're working on it and enjoying it, and you still feel lucky to be involved in it, you just keep thrusting forward at it as much as you can. Because it might stop, somebody might get ill. Damien was very ill in March last year. We honestly thought we'd lost him at one stage. And stuff like that, it just puts everything in its proper perspective. So, towards the end of last year, looks like it's probably okay, but it puts everything in its proper perspective when stuff like that happens. And it makes you so joyful just to make some music and to make it with your friends. As basic and cliche as all that sounds, it's established cliche because it's true.
It's the skeletal framework of creativity, one might say, for this manner of thing. Well, and you've always been so generous of your time talking with me. I mean, I still remember you demented.
But possibly. Yeah.
Let's bring that forward. You demented some new music.
It sounds like a verb. It sounds like a verb. It sounds like a verb I'd get behind.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Well, I was gonna say you debuted Christian Fitness, even though at the time you were calling it Tremendous Fence. Remember, I'm never gonna not bring that up. The one day it was Tremendous Fence was the day that I played the song, and you thought better of it. And that was like first year of this show, so that was a while ago. That was
2014 or something.
Yeah, the Jurassic era, precisely.
I think in that anecdote though lies an essential truth about the wider popularity of the music I make. So, tremendous fans. So,
first of all, how dare you? And secondly, okay, fine, fair.
Yeah, it's it's the kind of stuff which makes me laugh. It turns out really only makes 873 other people in the world laugh. But those 873 other people find it really funny. And
very much so.
At a certain point, you just need to become comfortable with that and move on. And I haven't quite done it, but sometimes I do a good impression of somebody who's done it.
Well, and it's been interesting, too, charting the path because, Christian Fitness, you put out a lot of those records. They're great. I, of course, am one of those 873, as you well know. And it's kind of for the true heads, right, as they say, where it's like, okay.
They do say that.
But it means a lot to those people. And it provides a deeper level of engagement than just whatever the Spotify algorithm is going to, what pablum they're going to shovel down your throat today. And it's been interesting seeing that, of course, Future to the Left, which I'm a big fan of, always was, and then seeing mclusky come back. So 20-year break between records, if I recall, roughly 20 years. But it's been interesting, too, because seeing the evolution of it being like, oh, this is something to deploy for this specific purpose to, no, this is a living entity again. And granted, in a different formation, but a living entity... For me, and for lots of people, that means you're writing songs. You're releasing music. You're not just, hey, everybody, Louie, let's go.
There's a little song. This is a little song Paul wrote. It's called Lightsaber Cock. No, you don't. You don't take that.
The Vegas show. Yeah, you could get a fat suit and pull an Elvis thing. Yeah, it'd be great.
I think that's attractive. It's attractive to people. Nostalgia is attractive to people. It's attractive to everybody. I'm a nostalgic person. When I do go past an old house I lived in as a kid, I have, a shudder of memories. Some of them good, some of them bad. Scarcity is a real thing. People coming to shows, they're coming, even with the best will in the world, even with the purest punk rock intentions, they're coming. Remember they were when they first came to one of our shows 20 years ago, or first heard the record, that brings them there. And you just got to hope that what you provide keeps them, like, you've got to hope that you're more than nostalgia. It does, as you probably know. I mean, it's tough out there at the minute. I mean, sales are down everywhere for just about unless the scarcity is profound, unless the story is, this is a big ticket thing you cannot miss, or it's in the news, if it's in that zeitgeist you hear about. Ticket sales are slow all over the board, although they're happening a lot at the last minute as well. And it's a reflection of, well, the world, isn't it? Not just how broke people are, but how broke they believe they are, which is just as important when it comes to the basis of spending. But it's true as well that people went to see a show a couple of years ago. Not everybody can afford, even if the tickets aren't that expensive. If there's two of you and you've got a couple of kids, that night could stretch you $200.
Yeah,
or something.
Grocery prices out of control, gas prices insane.
So it is.
It adds up.
So it is something. So the thing is, I've been doing this long enough that even though that's a bit sad, don't take it personally. We still go on stage every night and try and fucking destroy for the people who have made it. And a band exists in the world, we
do exist in society.
I can always tell I'm tired. If I say a lot. Sentence. If you hear that is a man who is stretching between sentences.
Or you've been mistaken for a Californian, so which is worse things to be mistaken for, frankly.
Absolutely. But I don't think I'm going to be mistaken for a Californian.
Probably not.
No.
But the shows, there's a vitality to them. The people coming are, maybe they're like a shirt size bigger, missing some hair on the top, gain some in other places. Who knows? I don't know.
You say that, but I'm going to tell you based on how pure and artistic does this sound. You'd look at what you'd sell at shows. The T-shirts we sold in the States were on average a full size smaller than the size of T-shirts we sold in the UK.
All right. Well, I take it.
I'm just saying.
What you will. Okay.
In the States, I think there are some pretty well groomed. There's some dirty rock bastards at our shows, but there's a bit of a hipster or post or hipster adjacent constituency as well. And those people do take rather more, they have a concept of abs, I suppose, is what I'm saying. We genuinely found that. And the American crowd, much more so than back in the day as well, was more diverse, I would say. Mm-hmm. And I mean that in all of the ways. In all of the ways that you would hope for, as opposed to say our Australian crowd, if that got any more, white and male, it'd be a very successful sitcom.
They'll be seated in Parliament, as it turns out. Yeah.
But the best shows are the shows where you don't just feel like you're singing into a mirror. Because I'm not entirely sure what it is I'm trying to communicate, aside from an essential truth about the people on the stage. Mm-hmm. But it's nice when you feel as if you are communicating something, even if it's just the joy of standing on the stage. But especially when you play in a bigger place, and obviously there's a bit more of an age range in the UK because we're not so strict with entry to stuff nobody gives a shit. It is, when you
never has ambivalence been so deftly deployed. Yes.
Yeah. You've basically got kids at the front. And then you've got like much older people at the back. And that to me is the ultimate vindication of the fact that you're doing something of any worth.
Sure, of course. And I want to speak to that in a second, but first I just want to say Hipster Adjacent Constituency sounds like an excellent Christian fitness song title. Just FYI.
Hipster Adjacent Constituency, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's solid. Consider it.
It's nice to know that you're on the listen. You've got the keywords. You're listening out for the keywords in order to. Yeah, you're like
look up keyword hipster plus adjacent plus constituency.
it's like you're sweeping the ocean floor, and for like with a really fine kind of sifting mechanism to find you're kind of panning for seaweed gold or something.
Except for it's fun phrases instead. Yeah.
Fun phrases for an idiot. Yeah.
Exactly. To delight me specifically. And probably no one else, maybe. I don't know. No, but I was, I've seen it in person. Like, and I've seen McCluskey put on the kind of show that you do and see a wide range of people, including people that certainly were never around and certainly never going to shows when the band was around their original iteration, that were very not just familiar with the music, but it meant something to them, and they got to see a wonderful show. That was very powerful. That no one went away unhappy about it. Like, this was something.
I would hope not. I'd be surprised, but you never know, do you? Some people are.
Oh yeah, there's some people that can be happy about anything, right? Where it's like, it's almost a superpower of sorts, but I don't know.
Oh, if it keeps them off the streets. I mean, who might say it's bad? Everyone needs a hobby.
But there's a difference between being a cracking live band and playing to audiences that want to see you and want to engage with your music, and then taking the step of, okay, well, what point are we a band? And by that I mean, again, putting out new music, putting out a new record. You did the EP first, which was great. That was lovely. What a lovely surprise that was. And then The World Is Still Here, and So Are We on Ipecac, which, if you're going to be a fabulous freak, that's a great Fabulous Freak label, And I say that always complimentary, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. No shade implied by anybody who lives in the world. And the new, I don't know if it's a mini album or an EP.
What's the dividing line now? Because it used to be under 32 minutes and over 4 songs, I think.
Right. I think this is 6 songs and it's about 15 minutes. So I don't know what that is.
Yeah, exactly. Which is sort of like, then, all right, what do you do with the Minutemen and X Models and just people with very brief songs? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't quite know what it is, but yeah. So that's just a lot. There's so much pressure, and I don't mean pressure from a record label or whatever. I mean just by existing in the world to be out there and to tell people what you're doing, and it's the kind of thing I really feel like doing occasionally, but I just don't care about that kind of thing. And I think my life is quite funny, but it's nobody else's fucking business. In the same way that one of the main problems with Christian fitness is I really love making that music, and frankly, I don't really need to share it with anybody. Like, I just listen to unfinished demos. Sometimes I get drunk and just listen to songs, and that's my best time.
That's enough.
And
that's
I know
enough,
that.
Right?
I know that sounds awful. Like, if I heard somebody else say that, I think you got proper issues, mate. But I love that kind of thing. But for me, when it comes to content as such, the content of a band is its fucking music, isn't it? So write songs, release songs. Write songs, release songs. And we wrote we basically recorded half an album about 5 months ago. It just, in like 2 days, it went very, very well. Not that you get a special badge for just doing it in 2 days, but it's one of my pet hates of bands. Oh, congratulations for rushing your album.
What is a time trial? What do you think you're doing here? Yeah.
Oh, this band, they're only 17. It's like, once again, is this like professional, is this like pro-am golf? You don't make music with a handicap. You simply make music.
Right.
It's because it both is and isn't a competition at the same time. And if you're going to make it a competition, don't fuck with us. Anyway, getting to the point, which I believe I was going to do.
At some point, there was a point. Yes, at some point.
Yeah, there was a point, but I'll be honest, I'm tired and I've forgotten what it was.
So new music, right?
New music.
There's a time to do music, and where's the dividing line for what's McCluskey and what isn't? I adore Bruce Hated Puppies, right? That's a great Christian fitness song, but would that be a McCluskey song? I don't know. Maybe. Sure, it would be different.
The thing is, anything I write it always starts off a bit weird, whereas Damien is a big believer that the stuff which works is simpler. Like when I try to use odd time signatures in McCluskey, he's like, McCluskey just does 4/4. I'm like, it's not quite that. It's a weird thing because McCluskey is the people in the room and it is a certain spirit, but you can't just resurrect this thing which is frozen in amber and just do exactly the same thing. There are going to be deviations away from the never strictly expressed formula. There's got to be, because you're different people. Even if you were the people who did this thing, you changed as a person. I think there's a world in which songs like on the album, like Cops and Coppers and Chekhov's Guns are really closer to a Future of the Left song than on the McCluskey song. But on another level, so what? We're not cosplaying the past. You create with having you create in a moment knowing what came before, but not being limited by it as well. I think the best stuff is just the stuff that happens. Damien is the person who wasn't in the band at all in the first iteration. He's ultimately kind of the gatekeeper of it, and most of the time he's not a prick about it. But occasionally,
if you're wandering too far away from,
most decisions don't even need to be made. You play and you all know. There's very rarely a debate about something. I think anything in the band, no one has to have an arm wrestle about what the first single is. There's been tiny little conflicts, maybe about a song, preferring a song or not, but it's not much of that really at all. I think anybody who's in a band knows when the stuff works, it just works. Nobody needs to have a PowerPoint presentation about it.
Well, yeah, and it's also not super far afield from what had come before, too. I mean, in terms of...
I don't think so, no. I mean, somebody did say to me they didn't like it as much anymore because it wasn't ripping off the Pixies as much. That was very much their perspective. And when it got down to it, I realized what they were talking about specifically was those kind of single note bass lines. Mm-hmm. I think, which is something that very early on in the band, the original iteration of the band, John kind of had a propensity to. I don't think that's as simple as saying it's the first record, which isn't really a record, is severely indebted to the Pixies. Maybe not as much as I would have thought of before I re-listened to it, but
right.
But yeah, it's largely of the same, certainly of the same mindset. I think, they're still the same people. Maybe just a bit more.
Well, it's also informed from everything you've done, all the records that you've done in Future of the Left, and Christian Fitness, because you have continued to make music and write songs and make records and arrange songs and so on and so on. Like it would frankly be alarming if it sounded exactly like it did when you stopped, because that would be, what are you, Johnny Ramone, who doesn't practice his guitar, so he doesn't, so you purposely won't get any better. Which is
what does Yao call the Jesus shows? He calls them recreations, doesn't he, or something, or reenactments?
Reenactment,
and obviously that's not the case anymore because they're doing like stuff as well.
By the way, last episode, Dwayne Dennison.
Oh right.
And I realized, I was like, I think one of the times I had you on, it was the same thing where I was even doing them, frankly, madness, doing 2 in a day. And I think I had you on it the same day. So I don't know how that happened.
You know what?
There you go.
You know what? Sometimes when I've had a little bit of a mania, I've sometimes gone to the gym like twice a day, and occasionally someone will have an intervention with me and go, every day's too much.
Yeah.
Twice a day is...
Twice a day is maybe pick up macrame or something. Do something.
Yeah, else. I only got 40 minutes in. Yeah. Sit down, have a beer, and shut up.
Don't do 2 a day anymore. By the way, that was very much a peak COVID thing. But
yeah. You were looking to you literally were thinking about death, and you had to stop.
Yeah, I was like,
death.
I can exactly. It was like what was that Big Black song, Kerosene, right? Sit around the house, stare at each other, and wait till we die. Yeah, that was pretty much Tuesday. Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, or whatever day that was.
or Thursday, or 1953. Who knows? I mean, you're right. Exactly. It didn't matter.
It's quite the time. Probably the full bill of everything that's due from COVID, and particularly the effect that the lockdowns, which were necessary, will have on people. I think the bill is a long way from being due, just in terms of how it would have affected not necessarily all of us, but like some of us. Really crazy time. I thought I'd seen crazy times in my life, but that was a particularly, at least for us privileged dickheads in the West, that was about the craziest. Exactly. Yeah, the craziest time it gets. It was.
Nobody was actively bombing in our countries or anything that we were immediately aware of, but yeah, it was pretty wild.
No, they weren't, but it's still, you see everything.
I think you're right. There's psychological ramifications that, maybe we're not even going to see the full picture of until for years from now, right? I mean, I think that's entirely accurate.
As much as I love a good generation off, when generations go, your generation spoiled everything. It's well, you're entitled. I mean, that stuff is hilarious, and a big waste of time. But I do, as much as I don't like to make excuses for generations, there will be a generation of kids, maybe from 6 till 12, particularly, all the way up to, I guess, teenagers, would have been particularly tough when you're going through those times, which you're literally not going to get back. It's a different experience,
Socialization, this the things, that we think of as being tantamount and important foundationally to your growth as a person, just gone.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. As opposed to me, like losing 45 was not. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I had a great time with my daughter, and it was fantastic. But it wasn't the most dynamic year of my life.
And then I think also when you combine that with the fact that these are children that are coming up in a algorithmically controlled world where all these walled gardens are in place, and it's like online is not something you go and do anymore. It's someplace you are, and I think that's a distinct difference that. I'm not saying phone bad like so many seem to do, but I think there's something there that needs to be considered, I think, personally. Thank you very much. Thank you for going to my TED Talk. You've been a lovely audience, and
well, you've done the usual great TED Talk thing of asking a very big question which couldn't possibly have an answer, and then leaving. So
and then wandering away from it. Great. What a show. 12 years, everybody. Stunningly consistent.
It's 12 years. No point, but slowly.
Mm-hmm.
It's often. Hey, listen. It is a fool who questions happiness.
The world is still here, and so are we, is the name of that record, though. And I feel like that's a timely title in a number of ways. And
well, I think it can be. I mean, this wasn't the intention. It was meant to not. I think it can be just read in a few ways. Like the world is still here, and so are we. It could be defiant. It could be quite sad. It could be surprising. I just think when it occurred, it just occurred as the perfect name for a record for a band who hadn't released a record for 20 years.
Sure, yeah.
Like it's as simple as that. It's one of my. I don't like it when people say it speaks to. This speaks to. It speaks to. Yeah, you're speaking to me. I think it speaks of. I think it speaks of time, and it suggests there's been this span and this events, but still in the dust, you still exist. And the we, I would like to think that's fairly ambiguous. I mean, that could be the
House of
band
Windsor,
saying, "Hey,
right? Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
could be, hey, motherfucker, we're still mourning our queen."
It's too soon. Too soon,
man. It will always be too soon, you tea party fucks. So don't give me that. Don't you disrespect her with a capital H and her P and a favorite pedo child.
But was quite enjoying the memes that came out from that Andrew car ride. My favorite of which was the record, the Mogwai Commandai Young record, where they just had his face and that kind of that weird kind of. It's quite the visual gag I'm explaining right now, but it made me laugh. I was like, okay,
yeah, well
done, anonymous internet person.
He should just go to prison forever, shouldn't he? It's pretty clear, like all of the nonsense. So
at least there's been some ramifications and consequences on your side. Over here, it's sucks. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very much the vibe is very much. Well, we're not going to do that again. So, I tell you what.
Yikes! Anyway.
Yeah, that would. Imagine. Wouldn't want to be that guy. But you,
that's tough.
I wouldn't want to have been that guy. But
if that had happened, which of course it didn't.
Yeah. It's all a bit.
It's right. It's written down. It's right here. We have pictures. But
it's astonishing. I mean, we shouldn't stop being astonished by all of this stuff. It's one thing about this upcoming tour. I mean, I've no idea when this comes out, but you feel as if you can't speak freely as somebody who's going to be coming over. You really don't. And not that I'm a person for great public statements about self-evident things, but I really don't feel as if I can. I really do feel if I, spoke. Even just made a joke about something or a statement. I do feel in the current in the current climate, it would potentially compromise our chances of coming over, which would be not only just a personal disaster, because so much of our lives is based around making this happen. Financially, it would just wipe us out,
and there are tales of recriminations based on things just like that. That people that have had their livelihood, if not outright ruined, certainly interrupted by those kinds of petty, junior high school level recrimination. Well, we're not going to let you in then, are we? Guess you should have said nice things about the Supreme Leader instead of what you did. Yeah. Okay. Well,
it's you know what? But it is an astonishing world we're living in. It's quite it's a waste of time for you need to.
We're not going to sort it on this podcast, I don't think. Yeah,
I suspect not.
It'd be pretty incredible if we did, but this episode is a palindrome 454. It's very special already.
If you find a pathway to you've cracked the code of turning the incel vote. You've unearthed a constitutional amendment which allows you to change immigration and national federal economic policy with just one turn of a gear. If you've done that, that would be incredible. But I suspect you haven't.
And here would be the comedic aspect of it, right? If comedy there be, it's at the 33-22 minute mark of a podcast, so they'll never find it. Which is the baby shoes for sale, never worn of the podcasting world.
Really? Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I will take your word for that. You mad cunt.
No, you're spitting the wisdom of the universe, but yeah, it's in an unpopular part of the show, so people don't listen that far, or they zone out doing their dishes or whatever.
No, they're gonna listen to my endless, probably far too enthusiastic comments about how much I just love being creative and go, this guy's boring. I want to hear about, I want to hear about him finger banging Marilyn Manson. You know what?
Does. Yeah, sure.
You know what?
Okay.
I've got to say, I've never actually said the word finger banging before.
It's quite the phrase.
And you know what? I went in there. I said it.
Yes, you did.
And I don't know. I'm living with it now. I don't regret it, but I'm not sure I'll go back again. Bit like the Sacré-Cœur. I'm not sure I'll go back. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like stairs, but have you been to Sacré-Cœur? It's great. So in Paris?
I've never been to Paris. I would love to. I've never been to Europe.
Oh, right. Yeah, Paris is good. It's good.
Yeah.
Paris,
I hear. So I hear.
But you go to Paris sometimes and you think these absolute twats can just get in the ocean. They can fuck off. Mm-hmm. Like it can be so rude if you get it on the wrong day or if it gets you on the wrong day. But sometimes it can be really incredible. So it's a weird city. I don't think there's a central truth about Paris. That's the quote for the podcast.
There you go.
Falco, I don't think there's a central truth about Paris. What a cunt I sound like, honestly. Who says sentences like that?
The front page of the Sacre Bleu or whatever next morning. That's my idea of what a salacious newspaper in Paris is the Sacre Bleu.
Yeah.
So you put out a record, and there's a lot of songs on it.
13, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and was there when you think about runtime, was there an indication? Because I know there was more than just like what went on the record. Were you thinking more of sequencing a record in the way of it being a record more with the songs?
Yes, but we did just choose the songs we liked the most. And the fact that the songs that we chose, which we liked the most, meant that if I was designing the ideal record, and that's just not how you can write a record, I would have had one more fast song on the record. And we didn't want to have a song like Not All Steeplejacks, which is probably the quietest song on the record.
Right.
We wanted a faster song, but that was better than the faster songs we wrote. So for me, I love the record and the pacing is fine, but the pacing lends itself to something different that I was looking to do with the record.
Interesting, but that's also... Okay, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So, but you can't... Sometimes you deal the cards, you play the cards you dealt. And I couldn't... You can't force stuff. You just can't force stuff. And the faster songs I love, but... If it had been up to me, there would have been one, up to what we all wanted, there would have been just one faster song. It's just a bizarre notion of balance that I have in a record. It pushes, it pulls, it gets you forward. I think there are some records by bands who have, I can think of bands, say like Pavement. Mm-hmm. They're a band I really like, but they're a band I definitely struggled with initially because a lot of their songs are very similarly paced.
And they're placed together.
Especially the state stuff. They're quite languid, but not just languid, but at a very similar tempo or something which appears to be a similar tempo. That sometimes, a record like that sometimes takes me more. I mean, Pavement was the most obvious example I could think of. It's true of a lot of music that I like. I can think of bands who are a little bit like that, a band like Afghan Wigs, who are a band I love, where it can be a cursory listen. On a cursory listen, it can sound quite similar across different songs. If you're dipping in and out, there is much more to it than that, but it requires repeated lessons. I think a lot of different pacings on an album can help to pull you into an album on a first or a second listen. I think this album could be, I think it's perfectly strong enough on 10 plus listens. It could be stronger on the first 2 listens if it had something else a little bit faster. It's an imprecise science.
Serving that need. No, I see what you're saying. No, because there is kind of there's a different experience when it's just a collection of songs versus making a record, I feel.
Yeah.
And I feel like sequencing is such an art form that has changed because now I feel there's things that are very much front loaded. Is sort of the default way. I think that one Soundgarden record, right? Spoon Man and Black Hole Sun. It's like the 6th and 8th song or something. Like they're not remotely concerned about it.
We're not claiming Spoon Man is a strong song, are we?
No, I skip it every time. Every single time I listen to that record. So I do like that Soundgarden, that record especially, but I never need to hear it again. Thank you. I'm good.
I was a fan of that band when that record came out, but I love Bad Motorfinger. That's when I think about Soundgarden, I think about Bad Motorfinger. That record at the time was, I mean, Yeah,
it does the thing. It's very good.
Yeah, it does the thing. It just has a bizarre, like it's a very thick record. It's a record of girth, I would say, certainly in the guitars and the stuff. Yeah, that was quite.
So I will say I agree completely. I do think Super Unknown is the better record, but it's also the longer record because that was peak 90s. My God, the CD. Oh, we can fit how much music on? Okay, let's do it. So when I listen to that Soundgarden record, it's without the hits. I just skip past them. It's still plenty long. It's fine. There's plenty of music. It's do I really need to hear Black Hole Sun again? Probably not.
It's Black Hole Sun. That's a song. I'd completely forgotten about that song. I don't.
That's yeah.
I don't really associate. But I don't associate. I don't really associate Soundgarden with that song. Oddly enough, when I think of Soundgarden, that's not what I think of. So that
Rusty Cage or something is more like what I would.
I think of Rusty Cage or like Room 1,000 Miles Wide. Or
that's a great tune. Yes.
I just think about weird pounding. I mean, very in love with the alternative guitar tunings, of course. I mean, being a guitar tech for that band must have been
you're working for it. Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my word! What this one's in an open. Yeah. Okay.
Are these even letters? Is there a tuner that will pick this up?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like somebody mashed the keyboard when they put the tuning together for this.
It's a weird band because even as a kid, that wouldn't have been the kind of vocals I would have been into in a band.
Yeah.
And live, it didn't work as well for me. It was a little bit too chaotic, as in the vocals were
the vocals.
Yeah, it wasn't. It just. I mean, who the fuck can sing like that? It must be mental.
Yeah.
I mean, I just yell. So
it's a lot easier.
You say it's a lot easier. I can't do the other thing. So.
I did when I actually finally saw them. It was a Lollapalooza that had Devo and Ramones and so and I saw them then, but they were on the one after Super Unknown, which was which is a fine record, but very mellow, kind of sedate. Kind of like at the time, not my thing. I was, look at my age, right? I probably had that record. I don't recall it off the top. Yeah, it was not my favorite at the time. So I feel like I didn't get the experience because I feel like that is a band, especially with that record. I was like, oh, I kind of undersold this. This is more interesting than I took it. Anyway, Soundgarden, everybody, let's give them a round of applause.
Soundgarden, but it's true of bands in general, and this is why sometimes you don't get annoyed by. If some people don't like our new record, hey, it's not necessarily us. It's not necessarily you. It's us and you. You got different things to do. It's not just a bit of art. It's where you meet it in your life. I loved a few books by Patrick DeWitt. I read, particularly love Ablutions and The Sisters Brothers. Loved those books. Two of my favorite books ever. Tried his third one, Under Major Minor Domo, or whatever it's called, and that was okay, but didn't engage me as much. I tried his next book, which is called French Exit. Didn't really get on with it. Kind of gave up on it relatively early, and came back to it like a month ago, just on a whim. Just one of the greatest reading experiences in my life.
And art is like that, isn't it?
And art should be like that. And you know what? Some of the art we fell in love with, some of the songs we fell in love with when we were young, they were ultimately very shallow things that we cast aside. And some of the stuff we didn't understand then ended up being some of our favorite stuff. And all of that is absolutely fine. All of that is fine because we got to be alive when we were doing all of those things. Well, hopefully,
ideally,
ideally, you want to be. I think of all the things in the world, I think the thing for me which shows a key indicator of how online is now just like, it's like one of those hand dryers which just blows the water back onto your trousers and makes you look as if you pissed yourself. Is the way that people is. Thank you, James Dyson. is the way that people say in podcasts, or on YouTube or whatever. So stuff doesn't get censored. They say unalived.
Of course, yes, yeah. Right.
Yeah. The first time I heard that, I think I called Damien and I was watch it, like, because I very rarely do something like flick through Instagram or whatever. In fact, most of the time I just have it on my phone because I've genuinely got stuff. I know it seems mad that somebody looks like me has stuff to do, but I've got things to do. And so, but I think I was in an airport, so I installed Instagram. I was waiting and I was flicking through and somebody said unalive, and I called him. I went, this person keeps saying unalived. And he's like, oh yeah, so the algorithm doesn't shut it down because they're not saying
by
suicide.
The robots. Yeah.
And you're like, and again, I mean, we're not a species worth saving.
It's fairly bleak. Yeah, and it's like Devo was correct about everything, right? Yeah.
I enjoyed that documentary, and they were saying things, but I'm not entirely sure what they were doing though. Like, I still don't. I get that there's an expression. I love Devo. You see, I love the music, but actually buying into the law made me kind of less interested in them. And I ended up just going back and listening to the music and loving that. It's not that I didn't buy it. I think they bought it, but I enjoyed the documentary, and they actually came across as really nice people. But I didn't quite. I don't know, maybe because I wasn't there for it. I don't quite get the perform. I just really like the cover of Secret Agent Man.
Oh sure.
Great. It's just some of the best, and actually,
Satisfaction is like one of the best covers of all time in my opinion, because it completely reconstructs the song from like base matter, right?
I mean, Jocko Homo is just the best song ever. It does a vocal melody and does a great one, and then it does a different vocal melody with the same words. Like that is just right up my street. I didn't realize, because I did that. It turned out that I'd done that with songs before I even got into Devo. So there's not a similar thought process. Obviously Devo several geniuses in a band, but I just love some Devo. I think they're probably I really only got into Devo about 8 years ago.
Really?
8-9 years ago. Yeah, I hadn't really encountered them. Or rather, when I had, it was Mongoloid, and just didn't
hit the same way. Well, they have so many different shades of what they.
Well, the thing is, that hits the spot for me now.
Yeah.
But it just didn't. For years, it just didn't hit the spot for me, and then suddenly it hit the spot for me. So, and again, I'm here to tell you, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I discovered them in high school, and that was just as life-changing for me as listening to Nirvana or the Pixies or a Birthday Party or what have you. And but I get it. Now everyone has the same experience. I came to Husker Du like as a 25-year-old or something along those lines. I was like, yeah, it's quite good. Why does the record sound like that?
Couldn't they have tried to record it properly?
Yeah, like who was recording this?
Were they trying to hide the songs for a bit?
I was gonna say, it's just, and I certainly didn't have the lexicon exactly, but I was like, I don't feel like this is recorded well per se, but it's definitely a decision. And of course, I love them now, but I found them very late in life compared to most, right? So
yeah, I think I was probably early mid-20s when I heard them. But again, you'd play them for friends, and they go, why does this sound like pure shit? And you go,
something's wrong with the stereo. Better adjust it.
What's going on? Why do the drums sound like cream crackers? Like, why is the man down the corridor? Do they know you don't need to just plug it? Even people go, they don't just need to plug guitars directly into the desk.
Yeah, there's these things called amplifiers.
No, it's awful. I mean,
it's stunning, right? To think about how good those records are, despite all of the things just outlined. That's like, there's every reason this should be god awful, and it's fantastic. Great.
I mean, yeah,
You know?
it's very bad. Like,
It's like the 5 obstructions or something, right? It was like,
yeah, but it really is. It's like, mate, if you want the art in this, you're gonna have to dig it out with your fingernails.
you have to strap in,
You have
bitch.
to
Let's
really,
go.
you have to really. But then you'd hear like some of the Living End, you know, the live album.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
you'd go, oh, this is what a band sounds like.
Yeah. It sounds like a rock band.
Sounds like a rock band. Sounds like a rock band who, yeah, it just sounds like a rock band.
Yeah.
I mean, the version of, say, even like a ballad, the version of Hardly Getting Over It.
Oh,
it's on Candy Apple Grey. I don't know what song.
that sounds right.
Yeah, you're like, what even is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's this like really sentimental song. It's a song I probably don't like as much as I used to, but it's just fucking horrendous. Like, anyway.
Well, yeah, it's again, it is remarkable how fantastic that band is, despite all of the sum of the elements of the records being like, this by all accounts should be terrible, and it's great. Yeah, I was like, okay, but it's also daunting. So if you're not willing to put in the work of listening to it, or if the charms aren't immediately there for you, then I could see people just being, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not really.
Well, they haven't been asked to try. Why should I? Like, you know, what's it?
Well, fair point. So I think that, but I think the record, getting away from slagging off Husker Du for a while, or I guess slagging off Spot, R.I.P.
Yeah, I mean,
the band is cracking.
Crack that Kraken.
The Kraken.
Kraken, fucking Kraken, you cunt.
Yeah, so you're sequencing it like a record, right? You're sequencing experience as well as someone that predominantly my listening experience is I listen to records. Like the world of the playlist and whatnot. Sure, are there times like, oh, what's that one song? Sure, I'll check that out. But for the most part, I'm a record listening person. I've been told from a lot of people that listen to the show that they're the same way.
I think that is our constituency.
Yeah. And there's a sense of adventure that can be had about that. And then there's also, you want to make sure you're taking the sequencing seriously, that you're making something that beginning to end is all the things that you want to do. It puts the songs in the correct place for them to do those things. And was there, other than, having the songs you like best on there, which is a good modus operandi, were there any, this should go here, this should go there?
I think after we had all the songs, there were two like orders which occurred, and I sent it to the boys, and they were like, "Yeah, that one probably, but if you want to go for the other one, that's fine as well." So there wasn't any real drama. We do have the occasional disagreement, but when it happens about, say, an artistic decision, but when it happens so rarely that that's enough to make you take it seriously, because it's not like somebody's just objecting to stuff all the fucking time.
Just to be heard in a room or something along.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've got opinions. Jack doesn't have that many, but when he does, usually he will express them. Damien has loads of opinions, but he's also, for a big man, he's also be prepared for you to make a case to him about why he's wrong. Which is a thing. Like I'll make a case sometimes, and very occasionally, I will admit that I'm wrong, because sometimes you are. And like with anything, sometimes you got an instinct about something. Every musician is always more excited about the new thing rather than the song from a few weeks ago. So something you need to let that percolate for a couple of days, and then really put it into a line of all the things which are going. But we don't really need to have that many discussions, because we only rehearse twice a month maybe, but we pretty much always write a song. We had a rehearsal last night actually, and it was okay. We wrote a bunch of songs which would have been great songs, or not great songs, which would have been decent songs for a band that wasn't McCluskey, but they just weren't. No, but in the sense that, I mean, they were good, but they just weren't. They weren't really. The vibe wasn't. It wasn't us. You know, they were
right song,
songs,
wrong band.
Yeah, right song, wrong band. But that was rehearsed, and you know, when that's happening, you still just enjoy it. You're there with your friends in the moment. Yeah, you're drinking non-alcoholic beers whilst pretending you enjoy them. You're having a nice time. I'm actually having two beers tonight. I've cut down a lot recently, which is both good and bad.
Is that in Asahi Super Dry? I see there, or extra dry, whatever.
Yeah. That's the drink. As little flavor as possible, please. You know.
Yeah, I quite like those. I had quite a few of them in Japan, and
I love them. Yeah,
and I actually asked someone, to the best of my ability, like why the superlative of it being so dry was on there, and they didn't have the foggiest idea. But it wasn't just a random person. It wasn't like somebody like on the subway. This is like, you know, a bartender that ran a brewery and was like,
hey you. What? I am out with my get over here. Got a fucking question.
You better answer me quickly and efficiently.
Yeah, I will be repeating this on a podcast episode, which will be watched by up to 350 people. You should know before you answer. You should know that.
that would be quite a bit of pressure, wouldn't it? Yeah,
it would. That's 350 people. That's, you know.
Oh, boy, they'll be judging me.
Yeah, that's a room, you know. So there we go.
Great beer, I think. I mean, it is a great beer for the thing that it does. Which is very specific.
If on the occasions, I'm not really a day drinker. On the occasions that you go out and maybe you're what's a term dickheads use? They're nursing a beer. They say they're nursing a beer. Just sat with a beer, maybe something flavored, or maybe you haven't eaten. You just sip it. That's good, but people who go out and drink strongly flavored beers on a night out, I'm sorry, man. You're meant to eat before you go out, and then
generally works better that way.
And then you use alcohol to make you forget your fear of death, or rather push your fear of death back to 6 o'clock the next morning.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can all hit you at once. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll hit you once. You can have an existential fear. I must admit, I talk to a lot of people about that existential fear. I've been quite lucky in my life. I don't generally get that kind of existential fear when drinking, because I as much as I do like a drink, I very rarely drink to excess. It's not my my poison. I don't like the second I slur a word, that my night of drinking is probably over. So it's some of the best people I know are really, really funny drunks until they're not. Yeah.
Until the switch is flicked. Yes.
But they just get but I don't mean they're fucking cunts or whatever. They just become a bit boring. You know?
Well, and especially and you know, I have a beverage now and again, but for many years I didn't, and it was not.
You were not a beveragist.
At least of the alcoholic variety. But I will say that it is being around people that are, and I don't mean drunk, but I mean drunk. And when you're not, it loses its luster very quickly. Like, of course, everyone thinks that they're, the greatest comedian in the world, opining the truths of the universe and so on and so on. And it's like, no, you're just saying the same thing you said 2 minutes ago, but louder.
Well, the thing is, I had a small child. I mean, she's not as small now, owing to time. But when she was very small, toddler. I mean, toddlers are basically like little drunk people. They change, their mood changes on a dime. They ask for the same thing incessantly. They suddenly fall asleep. Then they wake up and they're full of energy. They demand things. They're great fun. They remind you why you enjoy life, and also they make you regret all of your decisions. They are like, and so, but I've never really. Once I got so drunk that I took my trousers off and walked into the middle of a lake. That was so out of character for me. And I was drunk, but I wasn't that drunk. It was an act of. It was very out of character. I didn't accidentally fuck a duck or something on my way to the
Sure.
Lake.
Within reason.
There was no genital on wildfowl contact. But yeah, I don't understand the very drunk. I don't trust them being out of control and vulnerable. That's a weird thing to me. I don't know how we got to this point, but my God, I'm enjoying talking.
It's quite the cul-de-sac, I will say.
Oh man, I live in.
He didn't say he didn't fuck a duck. Yeah, I believe he did. Okay, well, good for him.
Good for him. Because I tell you what, I spent that weekend in the Lake District, and I inadvertently fucked all manner of water-based bird.
Geese, egrets, sure, whatever you got.
Good reach into the word bird bank, the bird word bank, the bird word bank. Yeah.
I used to live close to an aviary, so I got a bunch of them.
I used to live close to it. I know. You can't just say that and then keep talking. I used to live close to an aviary. You got to say that, and then you got to step back and think about. I mean,
different times. Yeah.
What even for aviaries? Yeah. Okay. I mean, when you say aviary, that could be anything. That could be a caged, kind of meshed off area at the bottom of a guy's garden, or it could be.
No, this is a proper, kind of wildlife preserve for fowl that they got to have a habitat and whatnot. This is on the Lake Merritt in Oakland. This is very close.
We went to the
wonderful
Peaky
thing to walk
Blinders.
past.
We went to the Peaky Blinders premiere on Monday night. That was very funny.
Because of course you have a song in that, and I that was actually my next thing to speak to you about after I exhausted all the avian and fowl related material. So
hierarchy of conversation.
Priorities.
It's a natural, but yeah, that was it was a fun thing to do. My natural inclination was not to go, because I didn't want to, but I was. Not persuaded be the wrong word. Both Damien and Jack and then Julia said, "Come on, when else are you going to get invited to a film premiere?" And it was in Birmingham as well, so we could do it. Go and get a cheap hotel. It was Monday night. It was fine. You know what? It was a nice experience. It was great though. Jack was there. It was a big expensive thing, like in Birmingham Symphony Hall, and then the Grand Hotel in the center of town, and Jack was there surrounded by all his drinks. He had like 5 of these margaritas. He was wasted by the night, but everybody coming past with a canapé, he was like, "Fucking give me that." It was brilliant. He kept going, "It's free," and I'm like, "Mate, every working man."
He looked for all the world like he could be in the cast, by the way, with the facial hair he had.
Honestly, I really hope nothing comes out about them being nonces in the future, because they're just such lovely people to spend time with. And Damien got up about 2/3 the way through the film to go and use the bathroom. Do you see how I'm using the language of you people? So you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yes, thank you. It's deeply appreciated.
Yeah, I can tell. And they had these Peaky Blinders kind of branded popcorn boxes, and the theater seats. So everybody's got the stuff in front of them. So as he walks out of the auditorium, we'll hear this really quiet bit of the film, crunch, crunch, crunch. There's this big, red-haired guy crunch. It was
Godzilla's his way through the movie.
Yeah, and afterwards, there wasn't really vegetarian or vegan food at the thing. So afterwards, we'd had a couple of drinks. I tried to go to like a kebab pizza place just down the road, and there was a huge brawl in there, and the police got called, and the Turkish guy kept going out going, 5 minutes, my friend. And I'm like, I know there's a huge fight happening there, but I'm so hungry, I'm just going to put myself in personal danger. He was a really nice guy. And when I got in, I won't keep doing the accent. It's just the way he kept going, 5 minutes, my friend, was just so, there was violence happening to the side. Yeah. But he was still like, your business is important to us. Right. That was very much the vibe. And
you got to admire the dedication, right? Yeah.
The thing is, I don't know if you're aware are Americans aware of the Birmingham accent? The UK?
Most could not pick it out of a lineup, but yes.
No, but as somebody from another place, when you hear people threatening each other in a Brummie accent, it's just kind of bizarre.
Right.
It's like two very tired teddy bears poking at each other. It just doesn't make sense. So once you're surrounded by it, and you've got violent men being violent, but you're just not finding it threatening in any way, in the same way that Glaswegian or Geordie or Scouse or Cockney could sound really threatening. It's just not a threatening accent. I'm not disappointed about that, but you know what? It was.
They really did step their game up. I would say.
Yeah, I didn't feel threatened, but it was really, it was really nice to do that kind of thing, to have a little.
How did that come to pass? The usage of that song in that movie? Because of course that's okay. That's great.
They just contacted us and said they wanted to use it, just by email. It was as simple as that, and then I emailed Ipecac and said these people want the song and the thing. I think they probably. Somebody became aware of the song People Person and contacted Beggars Banquet, I think, and then they came to us from there. But yeah, just somebody heard it. So I did. I mean, People Person was the song which gave me tinnitus when we were writing it, or rather that was the song which is the catalyst. My entire life gave me tinnitus.
Right. Sure, yeah.
But it was that rehearsal. But I just always had a feeling about that song. It's a weird song, People Person, because if I had my way, it would go on and on and on forever. I love that like the verse of that song is one of my favorite things to sing. It's one of my favorite. It's a song when I'm singing it, I'm in it. Right. It is exactly. It's not every song I write. I don't want to be that kind of almost pulsing slow thing. My normal tastes are a little more rapid than that. But there's
it's got that kind of thing that it feels like it could go cyclical, right? There's kind of
cyclical, and it could go back to that verse and on and on. I kind of had to. I normally don't have to do it. Normally, quite naturally write songs which end up at a particular length. But that song, I had to think about not getting carried away with it.
20-minute version or whatnot. Yeah.
I mean, but easily, I could easily imagine a 7-minute version of that song.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
But I think it's 3:30 or something. But it did take a little bit of an effort to. But I think it's right as it is. But it is quite it's a special song to me. That I think it was a song that straight away it felt for better or worse quite singular.
Sure, and that's one of the ones
only we could do that song.
It sounds like you guys, yeah, sure, and that's it's one of the ones that there's a video for the video lovers out there. There's you can engage with it with visuals. What a time to be alive! Were you familiar with the show before they asked you to do have the song in there?
I'd watched the first season like 10 years ago or something.
Sure, yeah.
Peaky Blinders, it's obviously a TV show, but it's also a cultural phenomenon, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah.
People who like the hats. So I was more familiar of that really. But I wasn't really. You don't really come to that kind of thing from the perspective of necessarily enjoying or not enjoying the thing. You just get involved in the ridiculous of it all.
Sure.
Really, just really crazy. It's not a world I'd want to be part of, but it's nice to just not even dip your toe, just to stand back and go. And it's a weird situation. I think the me of 20 years ago, Damien said something like this. Kind of felt as if, any second somebody would come along and say, "Hey, you don't belong here, mate. Fuck off."
Right, exactly.
I didn't really feel that way, but I did feel adjacent to the process of it. But it was quite, I don't know, quite a vindicating thing to be close to that, but not be part of it as well. But also just to see how much money there is in something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's it's quite startling. But yeah, so speaking of videos, we shot another video on Saturday,
all right,
which is a little bit of an homage to the scene in the Blues Brothers. The one thing Remy didn't tell me is, as the bottles were being thrown at my face, that there wouldn't be wire mesh over the cage we were in.
Which is key to the yes. Okay.
So I was struck in the face by sugar glass bottles on at least 8 occasions. So, and let me tell you, that stuff actually it doesn't hurt as much as say a bottle would, but it's not a pleasant experience. And the lyric at the end of the song, As a Dad, it's the long crawl to irrelevance feels a little better every time you smile. And he literally interpreted that as crawling. So the last scene in the videos has me crawling along the ground as a line dancing team dance around me as bottles are being thrown at my face. So
fantastic.
Remy's whole thing is simply to put me in as much danger as possible. He said to me, "Would you be consent to being strapped to a plane?" And I said, "Only if it didn't take off." Like,
what are you, James Bond? Yeah, what are we doing here? Like, what is that? What is this?
I mean, the thing is, right, you might be forgiven if you see me on stage for thinking I'm this person who likes to show off in public. I like being a bit tipsy at a party and being funny for 6 people. But
it's a different level of engagement, sure.
But I'm not a natural performer in the way that's it. Damien was a natural performer, or someone like John Chappell was a natural performer. Kelson was in Future to the Left. Just these people are natural. They're people who get on stage. They're quite cool people. They're quite attractive people. They just move around and they're comfortable there without even trying to be comfortable. For me, that's not necessarily the case. So, but doing something like being in a video, I just think this is just ridiculous. So just enjoy it. And I was actually a little bit burned. There were band members when I was signed to a record, big-ish record label who would insist on videos and stuff. Not insist in a dickish way, but that was something you expected.
This thing is part of the package, right?
Part of the package 20 years ago. But I was in a band with one person in particular who I won't name because it's not fair, because they are still a person, but they would complain all the way through that process. They would really, and it's not always the best process. It's kind of boring. There's a lot of waiting around. You have to listen to the same fucking song over and over again. But for me, a situation like that is, listen, man, this is just a silly little thing. Let's get it done. Let's get out of there without hating it, and whilst just having fun with everybody in the room. You've kind of got to be that way. So I kind of have a little bit of a hangover from those days, though, where because these videos have got extras and stuff, and it's very important to me that everybody has a good time. And hopefully they did. But anyway, the video's going to be out on Tuesday, so you'll get to see.
Very exciting.
You'll get to see the stupidity then. The song is called As a Dad. So, because the kind of people who say as a dad,
I think, yeah.
Well, as a dad, I mean,
as a dad, I quite enjoyed F1. I'm sure you did. It's extreme dad.
I used to be really into like treating people like shit, but now I'm a dad.
Now I'm superior about it when I do it. Yeah.
But as I said in my incredibly idiosyncratic press release, sometimes the phrase "as a dad" is acceptable, but I quite like the completely irrelevant use of "as a dad." Like as a dad, I'm really enjoying this beer. Like
as a dad, I found the price of blackberries right now to be very exhausting.
Yeah.
Well, great. I don't see why you had to predicate it with saying that you were a dad, but all right.
Yeah. As a dad, I'm no longer scared of spiders.
So a couple things I want to, and of course that's on As a Dad is a second song on. I sure am getting sick of this bowling alley. The new mini album review, right?
However, I will say, even though it's the second one, it is the if we were to use the language of the old, it's the main single. It's the I Know Computer is a song where it's funny. We joke about this as a band. For Damien, when he wrote it, he's like, that's the song. I'm like, oh, I really like it. It's cool. People will like it, but it's not fucking Teen Spirit, you man.
What do we think we're doing here? Exactly.
Yeah. Whereas for Jack and I, As a Dad is the song. It's like again, without trying to be, once you step back from it and listen to what you've created, it's like a really, it's like a really sexually frustrated B-52s or something. So it's,
all right.
It's you know, that which is a good thing. I think it's got a bizarre lurch to it. It's and again, I think I Know Computer is really nice, and I think it's definitely a McCluskey song. But As a Dad is completely singular. Doesn't sound like nobody else. It doesn't sound like anybody else in the world. So
all right, well, I'm excited to hear it. Now that's the March 20th. I think is when the release of that digitally
the whole thing. Yeah, the whole.
I think
thing
I bought it. I bought the digital. So
well, thank you. You don't need to do that, as you well know. But doing
what I can when I can.
So it's two of the new songs.
Don't spend it all in one place.
I will not, because I will not, as you know. But it's basically two songs from the new record, which may not make the new record if we write a bunch of more new songs. Two songs which are kind of, I don't like calling them B-sides. They're just songs which didn't fit. And then we had some faster songs which we didn't even finish. I mean, our usual thing in the studio, we don't have much time. If something's not working, we don't tend to finish it, because what's the point in finishing a bad song? And then there's the two songs from the original digital release, which we did pre-Ipecac, which people wanted on the thing. So it's a little bit of a melee, but it's not. It really works as a record. There is actually the song "Hi, We're on Strike," which again, I've got to say, you know, I know. Mostly known for ridiculous song titles, but "Hi, We're on Strike" and "Spot Culture," I think lyrically they're probably. But "Hi, We're on Strike" wasn't on the world because I mean it's a really great song, but to me it sounds more Future of the Lefty. So.
Okay, sure.
So I mean that was it to me. That was identifiably Future of the Left. It was like, nah, I really love that song, but it sounds like that. So there was no debate. There was no debate.
Is there any of that kind of distinction? Because you did do a Future of the Left. There was some Future of the Left activity not that long ago.
There were shows, but there hasn't been any writing, sadly.
Switching gears between those bands, does it feel the same? Is it is there something very different about the feel? Obviously, they're different songs, so that's going to be different. So
it just takes a little while to play the songs. I'll tell you what was funny when we did the Future. So we did. I can't remember now. I think we did because we did 2 festivals last year, and I think the year before we did about 3 shows. 2 shows. I can't remember. 3 shows.
Some small.
It wasn't just. It was. But what was weird? So obviously, I'd been having all my ear problems.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know why. I was like, Future to the Left will be a bit more mellow. That'll be easier for me. Is Future to the Left is, for me, certainly being a person on stage, is objectively louder than McCluskey.
Yeah.
But it is, it's much harder for me because I don't have any vocal breaks at all. I sing all the songs.
That's right. Sure.
Whereas McCluskey, I have little break, which is ironic because the whole fucking point of Future to the Left is I wasn't meant to sing.
You weren't to be the singer. That's right.
Yeah. So there we are. So I could just have a good, because I wanted to go on tour and just drink a bit and have the occasional cigarette and not worry about it. But there we are.
Sounds great.
But so fantastic. But there we are. I thought it'd be easy. Future to the Left is I need to be more switched on for Future to the Left. There's more happening. There's more words to remember. There's more time signatures to remember. There's more that kind of thing. It's a bit of a different thing. I find myself coming off stage being a sweatier mess after Future Left, I think, because my mind is exercised as much.
You're
as
exercising, in a different way, right?
Yeah. Whereas McCluskey, I can, not that I don't in Future Left, but in McCluskey, you can just cut loose a little bit more because I can just bounce off Damien in that sense. And also I can have a break occasionally. Like I can have a song where I can zone out, would be the wrong way of looking at it, but I can have a song where I can just play the guitar and
focus on that.
Let somebody else like push it forward. But it was nice to do, and I do want to do it again. And it was just the opposite of, say, when we did McCluskey in 2014. It was so nice to revisit the songs and really enjoy them and realize that there's some really good songs there.
I mean, I remember when you dropped a few of them in a Future to the Left set, one of the US tours. And I was like, oh wow, I didn't expect that. Those are still good songs. Great.
I mean, Future to the Left, it's different, but it's the same. I mean, it's still me singing them. And I think especially, it's like with anything, if I'm refamiliarizing myself with a song, first time I play it in a rehearsal, it'll probably sound like a bit of an impression, but after you do it 2 or 3 times, it's fine. And I think as compared to a lot of bands, I mean, Future to the Left is more complicated than McCluskey, but it's a lot simpler than most bands. There's not that many parts, and I mean, one of the hello, Budseye, how you doing, darling? One of the first rehearsals we ever did with Damien, he's like, all right, well, if the set's going to be 50 minutes, how long is it going to take me to learn it? I'm like, 20 minutes. I'm like, do you know the world loves us in as our bitch? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, all you've got to do is finish in the right place, because this is the baseline. If you know where the song ends, then we're all gold. And
there you go.
Or it's not just quite as simple as that, obviously. But there is in McCluskey, I mean, some of the shows we do, we've done some shows sometimes when we haven't rehearsed or certainly played any of the old songs for like 5 months. Mm-hmm. And we go on stage and people go, that was great. And we were like, we couldn't remember any of the songs there. But it was, but that to me,
but it's also probably something where even if you don't academically think about it, your hands will go to the place and the right sounds will come out, right?
But part of that is just me doing a bit because Jack's a proper musician, right?
Yeah, right, sure.
And he wants to be prepared. Like when we go in the studio, he wants to know. I always want to do the ideas we wrote in the car on the way there.
Right, the latest of the latest, sure.
Yeah. Whereas he wants to have written stuff down because he's a proper musician. Even though he's brilliant and instinctive, he wants to be prepared because he's a drummer. He plays the hard instrument, and he always wants us to have planned out everything in advance. But I always say. And I kind of mean it, but I say it just to wind him up in interviews. I like it when we deliberately under-rehearsed because that is where the magic happens. When you're basically a talented band, but you're you're almost experiencing those things for the first time.
You're
Like being
listening maybe a little more than you normally would, right?
You're alive to everything that's happening. You're not just going through the motions of a song.
Yeah.
And I say this endlessly, but in some ways, one of the best things for our performances is that we don't play Lightsaber Cocksucker Blues 150 times a year.
Yeah.
We play it, well, this year with the States. We're going to be announcing some shows in Scandinavia later this year, but we'll probably only do 35 shows this year. I mean, I'd like to do more shows than that, but how can you get sick of your songs that people love when you're only playing
it's okay, right? It's all right. Yeah.
Fine. But I can understand with bands when they're playing, say, the same set. I mean, bands don't tend to do it as much as they used to. Back in the day, bands did tour and tour. You know, they, especially in the States, they do what, 2-3 tours a year or something. Yeah. Play the same set all the time. I think it's actually magical sometimes. It's magical from a performance standpoint to not be successful enough to tour all the time.
Oh, sure. I mean,
you're hungry because it's not just you're hungry for the audience, you're hungry for the songs, you're hungry for playing the songs.
You know, we are in no way, shape, or form a band on that level, but I'm thrilled that we're throwing a couple new ones in and like that have never been played before. And I'm like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to do it, you know, because it's like, wow, can't wait to see how that one turns out. Hopefully good. Let's find out.
New things. It's all about new things. We're all on the various spectrums. Dopamine hit. New thing. I like the new thing. Yeah, I like the new thing. It's all about it's all about liking the new things. If you don't like the new things, then if you don't like the new shiny, exciting things which make you feel as if you've got amazing trousers, then why are you looking on?
Falco, there's two things before we get going that I want to talk about your long-standing relationship with Michael from Aesthetic Apparatus and the aforementioned Remy, who I feel like has become very intrinsic to the modern presentation of McCluskey, and I know there's other stuff that's on deck with that as well. So whichever one you would like to address first. Boy, it sounds really official, doesn't it? You're wearing an Aesthetic Apparatus shirt right now for the audio listeners.
Wow. You know what? I am too.
There you go.
This is brilliant. This one's my favorite one, by the way.
So the ape with the sunglasses.
I keep asking him to do. Yeah, we didn't set this up. I have. I used to have two of those, but one was eroded by the sweat of stage, and is no longer wearable. Yeah. I think the first contact with Michael was him doing a poster for a show at 7th Street Entry in Minneapolis in 2000, and Google it. And then Kelson was the main. We met up with him, feature that, but Kelson was kind of the main thrust in getting Michael to design the cover for Travels with Myself and Another, the Future of the Left record. I had some more contact with him after that. I can't remember.
Very striking record. I remember when I first saw that record, I was like, wow, that's a really cool album cover.
He did the Peace and Truce cover, but I also he's done all the Christian Fitness things. He's done loads of t-shirts for us and posters. I mean, it must be like 50 things over the years or something. But, hang on. What happens is we've got two downstairs doors, and when I close one, Bonsai, a gorgeous little girl, grey cat, she comes down and she headbutts the door open because we're not allowed to have any closed doors in this house.
Not in this house.
Excuse me, I'm just going to close the door.
It's got to lay down the law.
You close the door, darling. You can go through the other door, which is open, as you well fucking know.
It's an open door policy, strictly enforced.
Yeah, she's going to go back through the open door to open the closed door like that.
This is like a modern version of upstairs, downstairs. What are we doing?
Yeah, what are you, America? So
there it is.
See what happened?
Yeah.
But but yeah, so whatever we were talking about, blah blah. Sorry, I got
so long-standing relationship. All those great Christian fitness album covers are all wonderful.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's lovely working with Michael. He's really patient with me because the artwork comes about by a process of negotiation. But it does. I say sometimes you send them an idea. It's like with a band. Sometimes you have an idea. It looks like you're trying too hard. Sometimes I'll say this record, and you'll send me an idea back, and I go, "That's fantastic. That's just right." But it's not always easy because when you're trying to do something where, I think for a band like us, there are things which work and don't work, but sometimes it's difficult for me to articulate what that is, other than saying, "No, that doesn't work. Try something."
That
else.
isn't it.
That isn't it, and that must, that's not normal. Usually, somebody will say, "I want you to do a T-shirt for me. Here's this much money. Give me the design."
Right.
So I appreciate Michael's patience over all these years. It's been
great artist.
Crazy. Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, it can't be easy. Again, it's hardly a money focused industry, is it? But it can't be. If you want to do stuff that cool, then you're going to be existing on the margins to a degree.
Ain't that the truth? So tell me about Remy. He's done so many videos for you at this point,
Yeah, he's a crazy fellow. He's a very lovely man. I mean, he played in a band who supported mclusky in 2004, and I do remember him from then. But so much has happened to me since that time. I mean, much has happened to him. But he was the studio we record at, which is called Otterhead. The guy who owns it, Oscar, was also in the same band. So that was kind of how the thing came about. But it's been a pleasure. I mean, considering the budgets we're able to give him, which you might be entirely surprised to hear, are not huge.
Yeah, shocking. Right.
If you looked at, I mean, I won't say what it is because I would like him to be able to get more work from what we've done. Sure. But you'd be astonished by the budgets we've done. Everything, like it's a great effect.
I mean, they're wonderful videos, right? Like they're clever, they're interesting. Yeah.
I will say at this moment in time, though, I don't think, because obviously you do videos first and foremost to reach people who wouldn't ordinarily see your band. That's the reason I do it. Videos are not my work of art.
Right. It's a collaborative. The music in conjunction with the visuals is a collaboration.
They're an advert. My starting point with a video is it's an advert, which will not hopefully make you cringe. Like fuck.
Right. These guys.
That's where I start. I'm not interested in the art of music videos. I'm not. I'm just not. That's just the way it is. I'm interested in the art of music, and I love reading books, but I'm just not that interested. But Remy definitely is, and I genuinely. I like all four of the five. I mean, I know computers are a little bit different because he really has just gone through all the live footage he shot and managed to put something together for that, which is a fantastic achievement, actually.
Absolutely.
To get it as he did it is a testament to his skill, really. He's in an environment where AI is obviously a thing, so a lot of my job is to tell him to not use AI. But I mean, not even generative.
You can always tell, can't you? Maybe that won't be true in like a year or 5 years.
I think
you
the
can
answer
always
is,
tell.
I think the answer is you can mostly tell, or you can certainly tell whether it's used in a big wow kind of way.
Yeah.
But the thing with Remy is, which is incredible, is how incredible he is with people. Because if music is a collaborative process, then video is certainly a collaborative.
Oh, absolutely.
Film, it's a collaborative process to a huge degree, and that guy is really amazing with people. And I even include myself in this. He's persuaded me to dress up in clothes where normally I'd just fucking glass you if you even suggested it. I'm not a fancy dress guy. I like a good time. I'll go and do things I don't even like. I even took an ex-girlfriend to the ballet, and it's really not my scene. But I've got a kid. I've got to fucking listen to all kinds of shit, and and I don't just grin and bear it. I actively enjoy the other person's enjoyment of the thing. There's a thing, but I draw the line at dressing like a dickhead. Usually,
I think that's fair. Sure, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? It's all been fine. And like I say, even though Remy has tried to get me to be tied to a plane and whatever, he's a very
Tom Cruise stuff.
It's doing the stuff you like to do is nice. But if you're going to do stuff to quote unquote fucking promote it, you may as well have a good time doing it. You may as well be done in good faith, and also with a little bit of a wink. I did a wink, as I said wink, in case you weren't aware of what a wink was.
Appreciate the clarity. Thank you.
Yeah, I knew you would. You do it in good faith. You try and have a nice time, and you just try and spend time with nice people. My dad would have disagreed, but my opinion is you only get one life, and we're going to be doing this thing, and you want to work with really nice people. Although most people have any kind of career in any kind of industries, they're nice people because they've got to be collegiate to fucking hang out and do the things. If you're a fucking stress head who makes everybody feel like shit, then you probably won't have much of a career, because people won't want to spend time with you. But he's a really lovely man. I do, when he sends me through an idea, I do sigh a lot. I'm like, with all due respect, mate, I'm not a bizarre combination between Tom Cruise and Dave Grohl. What the fuck is going on? I mean, these bottles being thrown at my head in the latest video. I mean, I was genuinely terrified, because even when it's sugar glass, your body doesn't
you're right, yeah.
Fake glass as it's going towards your face. You've got I'm all up for it, because I know that even if it's not that good, there'll be mistakes made in good faith, and just nice people. You know what? It's really nice to go to a place. You've done videos and stuff, and there's people set up and they're filming you, and they're somewhat bothered about the stuff you do. It's like one of the most mind-blowing things for me, and I'm not thank you for letting us play kind of guy. I'm in this really good band, but whenever I get, say, to an airport and I'm flying somewhere for a show or a tour, I'm almost like somebody's paying me to fly to a show.
That's what I'm saying, man.
It's huge. It's a cool thing. It's a cool thing, and I'll never. Genghis, I swear to God, mate, 1 second. Mate.
It was the middle of a point, Genghis. How dare you?
Your sister came through here and she was cute as fuck. And you, as usual, have been a disgrace. I love you very much, but don't do that again. Thank you. Sorry. It's important to
stern talking to him. It's good. Yeah.
I love him so much. He is the absolute best, but he is fucking dickhead as well. So
I remember when he was just a kitten, and one of the times you were on the show.
Yeah, he just on the cat flap.
Making as much noise as possible. He loves it. Yeah.
Yeah, in 2014. Yeah, that's when we would have got him. 2014.
Yeah, that's right.
He's 12. So your darling is no longer with us. So you gonna?
That's right. Jack passed in January. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, well,
been with him 18 years.
It's March now, so give it the end of this month, and you're ready for another cat.
Yeah, I mean, definitely
That's
end of the tour for sure. We're going to be out for a bit, but it's also a double hit because we lost Dickie actually about this time last year. So it's been about a year for that. So we went from being a 2-cat household to a no-cat household. And that,
you need to go back to a 2-cat household. It's true.
I like it better. I like it better for sure.
Yeah, you get that little bit of time when you don't have to worry about food being left on surfaces.
Yeah, right.
But you do, and it was quite cool for me. I was like, I'm about to go to the toilet, and I can leave this here.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about being gone when I get back.
Yeah, I'll be gone 40 seconds. I mean, my chicken to be fair, towards the end of her life, she would eat anything which had mass to it and wasn't furniture.
Exactly.
So it was quite.
It was the love of the game as much as anything else, you know. Yeah.
Oh man, she loved it. Oh man, she was incredible. But
that's how I knew something was wrong when Jack lost his appetite. Because I'm like, oh my god, something is terribly wrong.
I'm telling you, I've loved my former cats so much, and I still keep them in my heart. When you get new cats, the heartbreak will go away, and you will be only left with the magnificent memories. It's true. Don't do it. I waited. I think Chicken died in. I think we were about 2.5 months catless. Yeah, and it was necessary. I think a little bit of catless time is necessary, but when you get back on it, you won't have any issues. It'll be great, and you will feel really good. And I know certainly with my former cats, I hold them in my heart still, and I refer to them in the present tense, and that's the way to be with it. But honestly, those new cats, that the story continues. It just does.
Well, and there are so many lovely cats and other creatures out in the world that don't have great owners. There's so many. It's mind-numbing.
They're amazing. I mean, I love the dogs. The dogs as well. Dogs are great, but I just don't have the time. In an ideal world where I had servants and stuff, I'd have dogs as well. But not that I'm saying as a spectacular white man.
No, I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
Ideally, have servants.
It's so different. That's what was a funny thing about Jack Harkness, is he was very codependent. Not something that I've normally found cats to be, but he to the point that I would feel guilty when I would leave for extended periods. Not even leaving for tour, but just leaving to go to the grocery store and be like, "What, you're leaving me?"
Right.
It's oh, come on.
Yeah, I once left Chicken for 8 weeks with my housemates at the time, and as much as they were lovely guys, you shouldn't be leaving a thing with them for that long. But that was bad. But yeah. Well, certainly the inattentive uncles.
Sure, yeah. Different level of engagement. Right.
Yeah, different level of engagement. But, oh, man, Genghis and my current cats, they're gorgeous. But my old cat Chicken as well, she was amazing. She was like Lemmy, but without the Nazi memorabilia. She was incredible. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh at my own joke.
Well, it's not going to get much better than that, as far as I'm concerned. That's as good a way to go out as any. So you guys are coming out 18 days or something at the time of this recording. I'm going to miss every single one. We are out exactly the same time, but not in the same places. Yep. I'm not going to see a single show.
That's great. How long are you out for then?
It's a full month. So we're doing 3 shows with Mike Watt. Then we're going out with the Red Cross for
I knew you were doing Red Cross. I didn't know you were doing.
It's a good one. It's a good long one. But I was like, I wonder if that. And I was like, oh, fuck, it is. I'm not gonna. I was hoping I could at least catch one of the shows, but no, we're gonna be out.
There'd be other shows in the thing. Well, that sounds really great. Yeah, so we're going to be in Denver for a few days actually before we start. So
worst places to be, and also you can adjust to the height, because if some people have a real problem with that.
Well, weirdly enough, the flight prices were £900 more each on the Friday and Saturday before. So we had a choice of either arriving on the Monday just before, on the Friday before. So we're just going to fly in before and
have a
spend a couple of days and just do a little bit of it and explore. I don't. It's kind of. I've been to Denver, but in the sense of I've driven in, I've gone, fuck me, it's difficult to breathe here. Played a show and then left
and then gone.
Again,
yeah, that's most people's experience.
So it'll be nice to experience it a bit more. There's genuinely, when you do have the time as a touring band to spend, even if it's just a day in a city. Like I had Berlin was nice when we were in November, but Cologne, that was just incredible. I really, really loved it. It's a real perk. You don't necessarily think of it that way when you're 20s. You just want to get pissed and meet people. But when you're older, you're like, oh, check out the fucking Gothic architecture, you cunts. You know?
Yeah. But we had the only day we didn't play in Japan was Kawasaki, and we went to Mount Fuji. That was great. It was amazing. Something we definitely could not have done and made it back in time for sound check. I tell you that much, But like I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I could believe it because I was there, but it was a wonderful experience.
Oh, brilliant! So that whole tour was a very positive experience.
Wonderful.
Generally, was
one of the coolest things I've ever done in rock and roll. It was truly stunning. I would have cried of joy, but I actually was crying because they lost my luggage with my personal items on the flight over, and I was without them for like 4 days.
All right, yeah. Damien had that for 2 days when
I remember. Yeah. What a way to start off a tour, huh?
Yeah, it's the thing is, I mean, Damien was instantly very angry, but then he was fine. Whereas I think I would have appeared placid, and then I'm such a creature comforts kind of guy.
Yeah.
I think more
later on it would be
when the full implications had sunk in that I didn't have my stuff. I would have been in a hairy mess. It would have been awful.
It does make you really think about what you need, though. I will say that, and it was an interesting experience because I felt like I was forced to be zen about it, so to speak.
Yes,
where it's like, what can I do about this? Nothing.
Well,
what I will do is buy a Godzilla shirt for the equivalent of $9. Great, okay, I'll wear that today.
When I was 23, 22, I had all my stuff stolen by a landlord. Like, he stole all my stuff. I ended up getting it back, but for 4 days, I didn't have any of my things, and I thought they were all gone.
Horrific.
And, even though most of my things were just a couple of guitars and some copies of NME, but my stuff, my clothes, and you know what? It was, in an odd way, even though I had to get this back from, and I promise you this isn't something from a sitcom, a very small, and I mean like a small person, black Scottish sailor. I mean, it's we don't have some roles are from central casting. You don't. I've given you too many.
It sounds like a lot of checkboxes.
Yeah, too many disparate
there's a lot
elements in one go.
Yeah, did they combine 3 characters into one here in the screenplay?
It was bizarre. Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't know what box to put you in. Like, how do I engage with you? But he stole all my stuff, and when he turned up, I'd called him to say, bring back my stuff. He turned up and said, yeah, it's a good job I brought your stuff back, because there's no way you would have known who'd stolen it if I hadn't told you. And it's like, you're the only person who had access to this place. It was a very bizarre few
interaction.
Days. It was a very bizarre few days in my life. But anyway, good luck to him.
Anyway, hats off to him, and
hashtag not all landlords.
Sure, absolutely. People can go.
Haven't you heard? There are good landlords.
So they keep saying. I've yet to meet one, but we'll find out.
No, of course there are good landlords. Of course, how can there not be? It's the natural state, isn't it? The landlord, feudalism.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with feudalism.
I mean,
album title?
Absolutely not. Fuck those people. Like,
get some Tory funding.
Yeah, that's absolutely not. Guillotines at dawn. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Absolutely not. Like I said, we're still mourning our queen. So.
Exactly. It's still very fresh.
She's our favorite landlord.
mcluskytour.com. I'll link to it in the show notes so folks can check you guys out on these U.S. dates. Very glad you guys are coming.
It'll be fun. Enjoy your shows. Don't fuck them up.
Yeah, I'll attempt not to. I was going to. I was on the deck, but
there's a lot of freak flying here. What are you doing here, you wanker?
I'll figure I'll get string talking to you otherwise. So
just have fun.
Yeah.
And
looking forward to it.
Keep your trousers on.
Keep your trousers on, indeed.
In all senses of the word.
Falco, Check you
Oh,
later.
we're saluting, are we?
We're saluting. Yes, that's the thing we do. I got inspired by the naval officer aspect of the compound character you mentioned earlier. So
Yeah, he was a weird guy. What was my address? 120 Macintosh Place. It was.
look him up.
Macintosh. Maybe that's why he bought the property in the first place. Yeah, you have a good one.
He was buying stock in Apple. Exactly. He was very confused.
Yeah, he didn't know what was going on. It was.
What do you mean that's not the right thing? Be safe, safe travels, and until next time.
No unlicensed dancing. It's not for the. How do you? I haven't used this one before. Where is hanging?
I'll do the thing and then I'll push the button.
We do it, so I'll just stand here.
You just stand there. Exactly. Span time. Just span some time, and there you go. And have a great tour, man. Take care. There goes Falco, everybody. Go check out McCluskey on tour. They are awesome, and they will be coming to you more than likely. And if not, then I don't know what to tell you. They are doing the best that they can. And please cut them some slack. Let's actually listen to what shall henceforth be known as the Peaky Blinders song. We're going to listen to People Person.
Aren't your heart's desire? Oh, mon ami, oh, chez amour, oh, foreign love, I'm shit on Skype. A lot of people like to be wise after the event.
Is this thing on?
There he goes. People Person by McCluskey. That's a.k.a. the Peaky Blinders song, as we shall henceforth call it. You can find that on The World Is Still Here, and So Are We, by McCluskey. Get that at Ipecac, mclusky.bandcamp.com. They have a new one. I'm sure am getting sick of this bowling alley as well. I didn't even ask him about that. That was dumb of me. Oh, well. You can find all that Ipecac, mcluskytour.com. Make sure to check them out while they're here. It's a treat. Name of the show's Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. Thank you so much for listening to it. This show airs normally Thursdays, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, streaming live on YouTube and Twitch, podcasted later everywhere. No ads, no sponsors, no kidding. ProtonicReversal.com. If you like the show and you want to get episodes sooner, $1 a month at patreon.com/ProtonicReversal will gladly achieve that goal. $1 helps keep the lights on this joint too, which is very important. Thanks for folks liking, subscribing on your platform of choice, sharing the episodes around, all that stuff. That helps people discover the show. Beats back the almighty algorithm. And it's just a darn nice thing to do. So thank you for that. No Protonics coming up, unless like Iggy Pop or Nick Cave or something to return my phone calls. I'll be on tour. So come see us, neutronfriends.com, Conan Neutron, and Secret Friends. Out with Brent Ross, Mike Watt before that. Back in April. So there's some good stuff planned. Thank you for your listenership. It's deep appreciated. Anything else? Nope, I think that's it. Stay safe out there. And check you later.
Can you hear me now? Out on Route 128, you're dark and lonely. I got my radio on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Welcome to my top 10. I'd like to thank our sponsor. But we haven't got a sponsor. Not if you were the last man on Earth. She was prepared to prove it. This one goes out to a special girl. There is no special girl! It's the end of radio. The last announcer plays the last record. The last what? Leaves the transmitter. Circles the globe in search of a listener. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Is it really broadcasting if there's no one there to receive? It's the end of radio. As we come to the close of our broadcast day, got my radio on.